Here we go.
Hi, and welcome to Crowdfunder's weekly hangout on VOOM 2016. This week we are going to give you 3 hacks for getting your VOOM project live and funding. And actually, just to recap, for those of you who are new to this, what is VOOM? Basically, Crowdfunder, Virgin Media Business, LinkedIn, and a whole raft of other partners have teamed up to give businesses, social enterprises, all sorts of people with brilliant ideas the opportunity to pitch to Richard Branson this year. What's different, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. What's different from other years that this has been done is that this year you can also crowdfund as well, hence we're hanging out live from Crowdfunder. So I'm Jess Ratty, I work on the campaigns team at Crowdfunder, and this is Cy Walker,
Hello.
one of our head coaches. And we're just going to crack on this week. So we're going to really fly through some key questions that are going to get you VOOMing. And then we're going to go out to questions from the crowd. So anyone can tweet us using #VOOM. Woo! Sorry, I love that. And also, just whilst you're there, whilst we've got your attention, we're going to give you some key dates. So basically, if you're going to be a part of VOOM and you're going to crowdfund this year, you need to get your project added and up and running before the 12th. You want to get it added and get prepared and ready by the 10th of May, and then you've got until the 23rd of May to get as many pledges in and votes as possible to be in with a chance of VOOMing it this year with Richard Branson. So, okay, we're going to start with 3 questions for Cy, who's going to answer them for us. How do you actually get your project live on VOOM? What do you do?
So, good question. So that ties into the 10th of May. This is what you need to do by the 10th of May. And that is to get your pitch live. So if you haven't already added your pitch into the system, that's the very first thing to do. If you head over to the website, which is the top of which is behind us, scroll down a little bit, there's a big button which says submit your pitch. Click on that and it will take you through to the section that you need to fill out. There's 4 different areas that you've got to do. Number 1 is all about your story. So that is your opportunity to write to the rest of the world and tell them exactly who you are, what it is that you're doing, and why you are in VOOM 2016. On top of that, if you're really good, you can also add a video which explains exactly the same thing, but it gives it a much more visual context, and it really helps sort of bring your pitch to life. Next on the 4-step process is you need to add some rewards. Now, rewards are what you are going to offer to your backers and supporters in return for their pledges of cash. This is what we deal with day to day at Crowdfunder, a rewards-based crowdfunding platform. So usually that will look like a set of rewards. You might start at £5 and just give something quite simple. And then as you go up, you start offering more products, more services that you would offer to your customers anyway, until you get to quite a significant number. When you go live, that's what people will be pledging on, and it's the culmination of all of those pledges that gets you to quite a big number, we hope, and a financial number that you can actually do something serious with. Number 3, you need to add in some financial details.
Really important, guys.
When you are accepting all of these pledges, we need to know, VOOM needs to know where to send the money. And to do that, you need to add one of 2 things: your PayPal account or your Stripe account, or both of them. Do both if you have both. If you don't, it's really easy to sign up. You can do it through the system, and I'd recommend offering both of them. The 4th and final step is a little bit of sort of admin-y stuff. So you can put in your Twitter handle, you can put in your Facebook page, you can write a little bit about who you are and you as an entrepreneur or you as a business, and it's just making sure that you've crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's. Once you've done those 4 things, it really is as easy as that. Those 4 things, then you are in a position to go live, and there's a big button right at the top where you can click and you'll be live straight away on VOOM 2016. You'll be in it, and that's it.
Thanks, Si. That's amazing. It's so simple. It's such an amazing opportunity. You really just have to do those 4 steps and you're up and booming. So that's really cool. So once you're up and running and you've done those 4 steps, what do you have to do to get your project off zero? Because I guess if you're booming and you want people to pledge on your project and it's got a big fat 0 on it, that doesn't look quite so good. So you want to get a few early pledges on.
Absolutely, absolutely. The start is normally the hardest bit. What we're trying to do, what you're trying to do when you enter into a rewards-based crowdfunding campaign, which is essentially what you'll be doing in the VOOM 2016 competition, is build momentum. And the only way you do that is to start the ball rolling yourself. You've got to really shove that ball rolling. And as soon as it is rolling, we hope, the idea is that the pitch will take on a life of its own. And you have lots of people coming on, and if they like your idea, then they'll pledge on it. But as Jess rightly said, if you're on 0, it's very hard for someone who doesn't know you and therefore has no trust or confidence in you perhaps to go ahead and give you some of their hard-earned cash. So top tip for getting off of 0 is to put a pledge on yourself.
Ooh.
Be the first person to back your project.
Controversial.
Do not let anyone see it unless you've got at least 1 pledge on it.
Brilliant.
That's
so what Sai's saying is, you know, if you're going to go live, you're going to go out to the world, your amazing idea, and ultimately you're going to end up pitching to Richard Branson, you need to show some support. You need to show that people are behind you.
Yeah.
And that will encourage other people to pledge and vote and share your project.
Well, so that's sort of step 1. Get that first pledge on there, on your own, you yourself, you've done it. And then call up your 10 best friends or 10 family members that you're closest to right away and get them to pledge there and then. Don't hang up until they put a pledge on your project. So within, now, if we're looking at timelines, within 1 hour of you going live, you've potentially got 11 backers on your project, which is a really good start. You've really started to give that ball a shove. And if everybody's pledging the average amount, which is £50, then all of a sudden you're up to 500 quid. And I can tell you by looking at the leaderboard, £500 puts you straight into a position where you'll be going through to the next round as it stands currently.
My gosh.
That's what you need to do to get off of the mark, pledge yourself, and then get 10 people who you know you can twist their arm, you can buy them a beer. They'll do it just because they love you, on the phone, get them to pledge straight away, and you're off then. That's it, you're done.
And if you're really smart, you've got them timed and lined up. So say you go live at 11 o'clock on a Monday, someone's pledging at 11, that'll be you. Someone's going at 10 past 11, someone's going at 20 past, or even 25 past. You've got them lined up. So that's really cool, because what that means is you've actually started the momentum. And how do you keep that going once you've completely rinsed your mates and your family to get those early pledges on?
This is where it slightly depends on which category you're in.
Right.
Presumably, if you are in the startup category, you're not going to have a massive network, which perhaps some of the businesses competing in the grow category will have already, the established customer base, social media channels, etc. However, the same concept applies, and that is momentum will carry you forward. So once you've pledged yourself and you've got your 10 best mates, your 10 closest family members to pledge, then you need to think, who's next closest to me after that group? So it might be your personal friendship network. So I have a Facebook account, which I have lots of friends on there. I don't talk to them every day, but I know that if I send a message out to them, they will probably help me out, or at least a portion of them will. So I'll then go out and send a message to those guys. What I might do if I was in the growth category is go out to my current customer base, line up a newsletter or a single subject email, which should convert better, and let everybody know. And then you can reach out to your Facebook and your Twitter. You could go out to LinkedIn contacts or old work colleagues or people down the local pub. And the way that you keep momentum through the marketing is to reach out to one group at a time. So we've done you, and then it's thinking outwards. It's your 10 closest friends and family, and then it might be your existing customer base, and target them for a day or two each. Don't go out to everyone all at once, but keep that ball rolling. And soon that ball will continue to roll at such a pace, because everyone who's backed will be telling their friends, who will be telling their friends, that you can afford a bit of time to take a step back, see how everything's going, readjust, make sure that you're focusing on the things that are working best and dropping the things which aren't working quite so well.
And if you're anything like me, you'll plan your communications to your different types of audience. So your mates, you'll say something different to, your work colleagues, people on LinkedIn, you know, how you target these people with different messages, but that's how you go. You start with a close network and you explode it out.
Yes.
Brilliant. How exciting. Gosh, we're seeing a lot of VOOM projects already, and they're coming up in our feeds and they're tweeting it. And it's worth to remind everybody, #VOOM, you know, if you've got any questions, there's a load of support out there. And there is a very cool document for all you newbie VOOMers out there, which is the funding pack. And it tells you how to build your network. It's got literally a step-by-step process on how to build and create one of the best VOOM projects we've seen. So where is that? Is that on the website?
That's downloadable on the website. If you go to the help section, there's loads of stuff.
And that's VMBVOOM,
.com. Yeah.
So go and check it out, because there's tons of advice there. And if there's one thing we know from crowdfunding projects is you get a bit of a plan together and you get it out there, and then you're on to a winner.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
Absolutely.
Okay, right. So I think we've actually got some questions coming. So excuse me, I'm going to have a little look at my phone and just see what's happening. Okay. Right. So we've got a really good question. So I don't know who it's from, but whoever, hello. Any idea when we'll be able to post project updates and know who has supported us?
Oh, that's a very good question. And actually, it should be next week. It should be next week that there will be functionality for you to update all of your backers. And we'll definitely do a bit of a dive into how to do that properly when the feature is live on VMBVOOM. So watch out for that next week.
Okay, right. Shop Saviour, hello. They're asking, can you give an example of pledge rewards for our SaaS monthly subscription business, e-commerce platform, not product-based?
Yeah, so...
That's very specific.
I definitely can, though. So it does slightly depend on who you're targeting, who your customers are. If you are B2C, then the obvious reward is the service itself. So if, I don't know how much your service costs, but let's suggest it's £50 a month, you could have a reward at £50, which is 1 month's trial. Maybe 150, you could slightly discount it. 120 quid might get you 3 months of the service, and so on. If you're B2B, you can do the same thing and just make sure that you're marketing to businesses more than you are to consumers. If you are B2B, that doesn't mean that you have to rule out the B2C market, though, and the individuals. A really good reward that I've seen another B2B organisation use is to have a big VOOM event. So at the end of the VOOM pitching competition, they're going to hire a local venue out. It's in London, it's in the city. And they've got one of their celebrity pals coming along. And 25 quid gets you a ticket to this super exclusive party.
I want to go. It's a party.
And that's really good because it's opening their doors to lots of people, friends and family foremost, but lots of people who wouldn't normally be engaged with their business. So if I was you, I'd look down definitely what you're offering, Ruth, and also the experiences that you could potentially offer to the B2C market. How
cool is this? We're already seeing people with a long-lasting impact from VOOM because they're going to be having a party after it's all done and just further pushing their business out there, and that's what it's all about.
I mean, it sounds good.
Long term, yeah.
If we were allowed to pledge, I would probably be pledging on a reward just like that.
Damn. Okay, so a couple more questions. So someone's getting ready to go live, and they have asked, what should they set their target at?
Good question. So there's a really big range of targets that we've seen so far, from 500 quid all the way up to £500,000. I would suggest that you set a target that firstly gives you an amount of money that you can do something with, but also is quite realistic. So we know that on Crowdfunder, the average amount that a business project will raise is roughly £10,000. I would use that as a benchmark. What we want to see and what we'd love to see happening is everybody raising more than £10,000. There's the opportunity to do that. But let's suggest that you want to raise 20,000 and you set your target at 20,000 and you raise £21,000, which is really good. Yeah. But as far as anybody knows, that's sort of, you've only just scraped it by £1,000. If you set your target at £10,000 but have a plan in place to raise £21,000, all of a sudden that's a massive content piece for you later down the line,
Yeah.
because you have absolutely smashed the crowdfunding part of VOOM 2016. I mean, you've doubled what you were going for, and that's a great story. So I'd always keep it as achievable as possible. If in doubt, reduce it down, and as long as you can justify that money going towards something tangible, then you're onto a winner.
Yeah. Wow. Local press love overfunding stories. That's what we call it, overfunding or a stretch target. Absolutely love it. So a couple more questions. We have got, how hot is the competition so far? What a great question. It's pretty hot, guys. Smoking.
So there's lots of businesses that have entered.
Yeah.
You can see the leaderboard if you go vmbvoom.com/leaderboard. So you can see who's in the top 10 positions. At the moment, I think to get into the next round on the startup category, you need roughly about 30, 40 votes. And in the growth, it's slightly more than that at about 50 votes. So you're looking at sort of reaching out to your initial network, getting out to your friends and family, and you're in a good position to get into those top 80. It's 80 from each category that go through to the next round.
And it's worth saying, guys, you've still got time to add now, so long as you get on it, crack on, hit up your network. You could just slam into that leaderboard and be like, woohoo, here I am.
It really is anybody's game at the moment.
Yeah.
It really is anybody's game. And I think that we'll see lots of people who are really keen and interested, but perhaps don't come into the later stage. So if you are quite interested in doing it, then take the opportunity now. Yeah. Make that window of funding as big as you possibly can. Get up and live and start pledging yourself and getting your friends to pledge and then building momentum. Yeah.
And there are some real hotties that we know are coming on board in the next few weeks. So it could all change, It's brilliant watching all these businesses. They are so innovative, and their routes to market and how they're talking about themselves using the VOOM hashtag is just brilliant. So you can really get a sense of the excitement of everything that's going on. Oh, hell, I'm excited. Woo. Okay, right, a couple more questions. How do I get press? Local world?
Local world, that's a very good one. So we have a partnership with
of course we do. The amazing pods.
Local world, and if you have a local newspaper title, head over to their website, and along the top of their website, along the header, there should be a local projects tab. If you're one of the lucky 100 or so different newspaper titles or live within that catchment area, then your VOOM project will be live on your local newspaper website. That gives you a very good in to get in touch with the editor and say, hey, my project's on the website. We'd love to send out a press release, and you're probably in a better position to talk about press releases than I am, but that gives you a very good opening line. If you don't see the local projects bar, then you can still definitely get press. And, I mean, do you want to go through that?
So really simple hack. Type your subject area. If it's energy, type energy into news. Find out who's talking about it. Who's talking about it on the national press? Is there anyone locally talking about it? Do you know your local news reporter? Give them a ring. Their job is to run cool, innovative local stories, and the national guys, brilliant, game-changing stories, and VOOM projects tend to be game changers, So give them a ring, get in touch, see who's talking about what, and target those people, and they'll be happy to hear from you. And they're usually straight up. If they're not interested, they'll be going like, sorry, love, not for me. But that's where you go down a different tack. Twitter's a really good place for targeting journalists. They often do a lot of shout outs for content and stories. So again, find out who's writing about what, find out their Twitter handle, and send them a tweet and reach out to them on there. That's my top tips on how do we get press. So
good advice.
Another question just in, which is really cool. Given that LinkedIn are partners on VMB VOOM, it's quite apt. So how do I use my LinkedIn network to get votes and pledges? This one for you, Si.
Oh, that's a good one. So there's two ways that you could do it that I would suggest doing it. One is to write a post about what you're doing.
Oh yeah,
write an article.
Yeah.
If you have any budget, it can be quite a successful route to audience groups that you're trying to target to then sponsor that article, and that will then come up in the feeds of people that you're interested in targeting and bringing onto your VOOM pitch. The second way is if you've got lots of connections, or even if you don't have that many connections, if you've got some connections, it's a little known fact that you can actually export that connections list and it will give you their name and their email address, and you can sort of decide which columns that you want to do. Export that, create an email that's personalized as much as possible, and you can use that to create a list that you can then send through MailChimp or through Gmail or through whatever, Outlook, whatever email client that you decide to. But that's a really good pool of people who might be interested in pledging on your VOOM pitch that lots of people don't take advantage of.
Yeah, absolutely. LinkedIn's amazing. You know, you're in a world of people that really are absolutely passionate about what they're doing. They're driving forward ideas and thoughts and and thought sharing and IP and all sorts of stuff. So you really want to get in there with your LinkedIn network. And on that, if you put a post up, I think you can tag sectors as well, and it'll appear in different feeds and things like that. Super cool, you know. And LinkedIn are amazing. I think they're running the professionals as well. Is that still going? People still join in? So tell us a little bit about that quickly before we move on.
So I'm not completely up to speed with it. I just deal with the crowdfunding. But as far as I'm aware, everyone has the opportunity to become a part of what is called the A team, which means that they can be on the judging panel, which either says yay or nay to businesses just like yourself that are in the competition. So if you are on LinkedIn and you think that you would be either a good mentor for some of these businesses or be a good judge, then you can head over to bnbvoom.com. There's a professionals link at the top, and you can submit. It takes about 10 seconds. It's really quick.
Really easy.
You just log in via your LinkedIn profile and it connects you up. And there's some shortlisting that will be happening over the next couple of weeks. And all of that will be announced a little bit later on, but it is still definitely open. If you are a professional and you think that that's something you'd be interested in, then head over to that page on the VOOM website. So
cool, you know, getting spotted by LinkedIn just for being amazing. I mean, gosh, yeah, that's awesome. So let me just check. I've got one more question, and then we're going to have to leave it there for today. So anyone who wants to talk to us, you can get us on #VOOM. And our last question is brilliant. So basically, we need to remind everyone what the prizes are in VOOM and what you can get if you get right through up to the top. So can you share with us what we've got going on today?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the prize is really big. It's massive. And
of course it is.
If you are interested in really deep diving into what you get, then I'd highly recommend going onto the terms and conditions of the website, and that's where all of the prizes are listed. However, the first prize, the most exciting one, I think anyway, is the crowdfunding prize. So this is only open.
We're biased.
This is only open to people who are crowdfunding their way through VOOM 2016. And it's 50 grand. It's 50 grand in prize money. It's cash. Wow. 50 grand cash. And
so much money for your business.
As well as a few different support packages from us and a couple of other partners that are chipping in. What you need to do if you're in the crowdfunding section is finish in the top 5. You need to raise enough money to finish in the top 5. So the first 80 will go through in each category. But if you're crowdfunding and you're in the top 5 for the crowdfunding category, you go into a short list, and there's a small panel who will then give £50,000 to the business that they think best deserves it. And part of that will be weighted on how much money is raised, and part of it will be on the idea itself and how many pledges they got, and how much innovation is involved, and if their startup or growth. So there's a few different factors there, but the main thing is get up to the top of that leaderboard for the crowdfunding side, and you could be in with a real shot of winning 50 grand on top of everything that you've raised through the competition.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So if you raise 20 grand by being generally awesome, you get 50k, that's 70k for your business. That's insane. Well, if you raise 10 grand, you've got 60k. My gosh. Why can't I be involved in this? Oh, I'm working on it. Oh. Okay, so we're a bit biased. We love the Crowdfunder reward, and crowdfunding is what we do. So, but sorry, tell us a little bit about what else is on offer, because there's loads of stuff going on.
There is loads, and I'm likely to miss some of it out. There's so much
let's just go for some headlines.
Well, so you get all the way through to the final. There is £500,000 for startup, £500,000 worth of prizes for the growth category. and it's made up of loads of stuff. There's a big bunch of
Yeah.
cash. JC&Co are one of the partners. They look after a lot of outdoor media. There's a huge budget for
JC&Co
for outdoor media advertising with JC&Co. There's loads and loads of support. There's support from lots of different mentors who are on the judging panel.
Yeah.
There's support from lots of different forums of directors, and there's support for business plans, for raising equity finance, for further crowdfunding if you want. I mean, the prize is just massive, and it equals up to a really huge sum. It's the biggest prize that's offered to any business in any competition in the UK.
Yeah.
It's an absolute monster. And again, I haven't done it justice, but for full information, head over to the VOOM website, check out the terms and conditions, and there is a section in there called prizes, and that's where you find it all.
And that is vmbvoom.com. So head on over there. Don't dilly-dally. This is an amazing opportunity. You've really got to get going. And the reason I'm being so pushy is because, you know, the clock is ticking. Get up, get live, and get cracking. So that's it from us this week. We'll be back next week. We might even have some special guests joining us. Somebody might tell me off for saying that next week, but I'm hoping we've got some people to liven up the party, the Hangout party. So thank you so much for joining us, and crack on and boom.
Looking forward to seeing you live.
Cheers.